How's it going, crypto community? This is Jade, the XRP Martian, back with another article. This one from Forbes. It's a FUD piece. This one being written by our favorite FUDster over at Forbes, Billy Bambaro. If you don't know Billy Bambaro, well, I've covered Billy's articles in the past. You know, articles such as Ripple's CEO just made a sudden turnaround on Bitcoin, because Billy apparently for the first time back in June heard that Brad Garlinghouse doesn't just hold XRP, he holds Bitcoin too. And so he tried to spin the narrative off of hearing that all of a sudden Ripple's CEO also held Bitcoin as well as XRP. He just, after being a FUDster against Bitcoin for however long, but anybody that's actually been following Ripple, I don't know, for any amount of time, you know, that's like one of Brad Garlinghouse's go-to statements whenever anybody tries to get him to like take a jab at Bitcoin. He's almost, well, recently in the news, he's actually started to criticize the networks, but prior to last month, actually, Brad's been pro-Bitcoin and bragging about the fact that he has, you know, a portion of his investment, again, in Bitcoin. So this guy is batting 1,000 as far as his credibility. And I went onto his page here, onto his all the contributions Billy has made to the Forbes crypto list here, right? He's got some interesting reads. And where was the one I read? Oh, Bitcoin bear is poised after Dr. Doom's dire crypto exchange warning. Yes, because anybody in crypto gives a cryptic rear end about, you know, Nouriel Roubini's opinion in regards to crypto, right? Who cares about a dinosaur that doesn't even know the difference between a blockchain and a Merkle chain, or Bitcoin or an Ethereum, or anything to do with blockchain, right? He literally knows nothing about the space, and he exposed himself as that to everybody in the space last year. Everybody laughed him. We laughed him out of the crypto community and mocked him, and then he got upset because we all mocked him because it was blatantly clear he didn't understand the technology. And now he's still on a tirade, you know, because that's what FUDsters do. They FUD and FUD, even after they get called out as being, you know, illegitimate shill bags like Billy Bambaro here. Oops. Now it's really interesting because Billy has been apparently covering cryptocurrency since 2012. Fantastic, Billy. You're a journalist. Your job is to do research. And yet, me, just somebody that wasn't being paid to do research for the last 3.5 years that I've really done research on this space, right? Like I had a little bit of Bitcoin back in 2015, but you know, I didn't really research it. You know, I wasn't really buying Bitcoin as an investor at that point, so I didn't really even know what it was that I was actually getting into, other than just is internet money. So, you know, the idea is that this guy, he's been around for at least 3 years longer than me. Really, he's been a journalist in cryptocurrency, covering cryptocurrency for 4 years probably, compared to the time that I've actually been researching the space. And I somehow, I'm more up to snuff on what's actually going on in this space than this journalist who claims to have significant experience covering tech. That's disappointing. Hey, well, no, I'd say Forbes, would you like a journalist who actually understands the technology to write you some legitimate articles so that you actually get, you know, some real views? But we all know that they don't really care about the truth out there on most mainstream media outlets, right? That's why you're all tuning in to me. Because you know you can't trust clowns like this over on Forbes, and you can't trust CNBC or CNN or Fox News or any of them, because they're all a bunch of paid shills. That's how they make such good money, right? Because they're paid to go and sell a false narrative so that somebody else can make money off of them selling you a bunch of bullcrap. this is ridiculous. It's absurd that this is even allowed, right? That you're allowed to go and have a major journalistic publication and publish straight tripe, like what this gentleman's doing right here. His objective is to try and say that LibraCoin is ahead of Litecoin, Ethereum, and XRP. Because why? Oh, because more people have heard of LibraCoin than Ethereum, Litecoin, or XRP. Wow. It couldn't be because every time they've had anybody else from the crypto space, whether it's Brad Garlinghouse or somebody that's a Bitcoin supporter or any other crypto, ever since June, when LibraCoin's white paper was dropped, and even before that, when it was announced it was going to be dropped, the mainstream media started covering it nonstop and asking all these people in their own other areas about LibraCoin. Well, no wonder the masses all know about LibraCoin now, because you all told them about it. That's all you talk about. I haven't heard. We got excited in the XRP community because Brad Garlinghouse got a single interview on Fox Business this month, right? Like, that's our coverage. Libra, you can literally go on CNBC on YouTube and you can see LibraCoin talked almost every row of videos. That's how much they're talking about LibraCoin. So is it any wonder that everybody's heard about it? How is that a metric to say that you're ahead? More importantly, XRP, Ripple, why would they care if consumers know about their product? We are not their target as consumers, as the Joe Schmo, as the average person. They're interested in institutional investment. They're interested in financial institutions and banks. They aren't interested in the value that little, penny pinchers like you and I hold, because we have pennies compared to their dollars, compared to their $100 bills. Really, we got a penny for every $100 they got. So they don't care about us in regards to getting adoption, because that's not their focus right now. Once they capture the banks, then Ripple can focus on the consumer. But they're going after the industry that they feel is the one that this space needs to penetrate before any other. And oops, sorry if you hear that in the mic, but let's be real though. That's why you're hearing, or that's why, I personally don't have any qualms with LibraCoin if it is successful, right? This isn't me saying, oh my gosh, it's not me trying to bring down LibraCoin even, because it's probably going to be successful and it's bringing a lot of attention to the space nonetheless. Well, it did when it first, was announced, but, it's not really being reflected in the price right now because obviously Bitcoin is crashing down and, sorry, don't know why I'm yawning already. It's only 1 o'clock. But at any rate, it's not me bashing on LibraCoin on this at all, right? Because as a lot of us say in the space and point out to you all, this is good for us because this brings attention in. And so the more that people talk about it, the more people are getting comfortable with the fact that, okay, these cryptocurrency things, they're here to stay, right? They're here to stay, and now everybody's going to start releasing their own. And everybody's probably going to have to start using these things, so, that's what they're doing. They're getting everybody ready for this. And more importantly than that, the LibraCoin is FUD, right? It's FUD not for you and me as digital asset investors, cryptocurrency investors, but it's FUD for the traditional incumbent financial institutions, because that is who is really going to be impacted if Facebook's LibraCoin is successful. So let's keep that in mind, right? So in some ways, even though Billy here is creating the most absurd FUD piece of all time, it's not FUD in the sense that it's downplaying XRP, Ethereum, or Litecoin as much as it really is FUDding the banking institutions, the traditional banking institutions, because this new thing Facebook's going after is already almost as popular as Bitcoin, right? He shares some statistics down here. So, new research carried out by the U.S. brokerage eToro has found that while 58% of U.S. adults have heard of Bitcoin, the first and largest cryptocurrency, Facebook's LibreCoin, is already known by 16% of people. And then it says that Ethereum is known by 12%. And do they list Ripple in here? He doesn't even say for how many people have heard of Ripple. Yeah, it says right here. Recognition. Ethereum's achieved 12% recognition since it went live in 2015, and it can be assumed that smaller cryptocurrencies, Litecoin and XRP, are still well known. I think he meant unknown, as in less known than Ethereum, because that's assuming, based upon it being smaller, that less people know about it. Which, though, I don't know. I guess now I'm thinking about it, like there's probably more people that have heard of Litecoin than XRP even, because Bitcoin maximalists or a lot of Bitcoiners, not Bitcoin maximalists obviously, but a lot of Bitcoiners like to call Litecoin the silver to their gold, right? That stupid analogy because it's catchy and it's easy to shill people on. I'm not trying to crap on Litecoin or anything, but the point of this video is that Billy, you're a shill. You're a shill if you're watching this, Billy. You're not watching this, but ladies and gentlemen, if you ever see an article from Billy Bamborough, know that he's probably just writing some nonsense FUD, because that's what he does, right? This will be the greatest surprise. Will this be Bitcoin's greatest surprise convert? Peter Schill. Or Schiff. Oops. I did not mean that. Peter Schiff. I did not mean to call him Peter Schill. But he is a gold shill. But hey, you know what? I'm kind of an XRP shill. So, calling the kettle black. No. But at any rate, this video is already over the 10-minute mark. And I said all my piece that I have to say in regards to this absurdity and the continual... At least Billy is consistent, right? But in the words of Jungle Inc., all that I can say in conclusion is, ladies and gentlemen, don't be a Billy, right? This guy is notorious for FUD, so in the future, if any of you actually see another article from Billy Bamborough, take it with a grain of salt. Know that he's almost certainly putting a spin on the scenario, and that there is almost no credibility. He has no credibility, is really the point, right? He's trying to say that Facebook's LibreCoin is already known by 16% of the people, and his evidence that it is more popular than Ethereum, Litecoin, and XRP is simply based upon the fact that he found a statistic showing that only 12% of people know of Ethereum. But here's the thing. We know, as people in this space who've been here for a while, we know that Litecoin is, again, Bitcoin's silver. And that makes it the second most known to anybody that's new in the space. They don't know about Ethereum, other than they go on CoinMarketCap and see it as the second, right? Litecoin is the one that's been mentioned nonstop next to it. We don't hear about Ethereum on the news at all. I actually haven't heard of Ethereum on any mainstream outlet. Actually, like since 2017, I think. Maybe there was one last year, but I haven't heard an article, anything from mainstream media regarding Ethereum this year. So, yeah. No wonder that your coin has more recognition than a coin that hasn't gotten any recognition on the mainstream media in recent memory, right? I can't tell you the last time. But I can tell you the last time I saw XRP on the news. Literally Friday, I think it was, that Brad Garlinghouse was on CNBC. Or was it Saturday? I don't know. Just literally within the last week, we had Brad Garlinghouse on. And Ripple and XRP have been spoken on mainstream media actually more than Ethereum. So I really would not be surprised to find out that more people are are familiar with XRP than they are even Ethereum. And again, I bet that there are more people that are aware of Litecoin even than Ethereum, simply because of the gold and silver comparison that so many people in Bitcoin use with Litecoin. So thank you all for tuning into the video. If you're new, please be sure to hit that subscribe, ring that bell so that you can stay up to date with all my newest videos. And on your way out, be sure to hit that like, especially if you like this, so that you can help me get this promoted up in the Google algorithm or the YouTube algorithms. Also, sharing is caring. Retweet, send this on Facebook, whatever social media outlet or platforms that you use. If you share it on that, help your family, friends figure out what's going on with the space. Maybe this will be the video that helps get them involved when they're like, oh, what are these other things that these other cryptocurrencies the mainstream media aren't talking about? Maybe, who knows? Either that or I might scare them off because they probably think that I'm crazy. Like most of us, right? They all think we're crazy. We're all crazy for investing in the thing that all these big companies like Facebook are now, investing their resources into creating their own currencies in the space that we've already been in. And what we know, most of us who have done our real research, again, it's the end of the video, but what we know as researchers who have done our research is that there's a lot more to this space than just the first layer blockchain protocol. And what that means is that LibreCoin at most is going to be plug and play to somebody else's ecosystem. So with all that said, thank you all for tuning in the video. I can't wait to see you in my next one. As always, on Mars.